How's it going, YouTube? We're back with another video. Me working on my 2014 Ram 3500 with the 6.7 Cummins. Little catch up for you guys if you haven't seen the first video, which you should just go watch the first video before this. Is my 2014 Ram 3500 6.7 Cummins. Broke a valve, dropped into the piston, broke the injector, melted the piston, completely KO'd the motor. What I suspect happened was this truck is deleted with a tune, and I suspect with the factory exhaust, with just so much back pressure, the EGTs got high and just made the valves get hot, the valve seats get hot. At least that's from what my research, what I've found. So I need to do an aftermarket exhaust when I put this thing all back together. So anyways, I am in the process of taking the motor out. Sorry, I'm spinning around here a little bit, just kind of walking circles in my tiny shop. From the last video, I got in about this far, but I have started doing some other things off camera, you know, just pulling the wiring harness out a little bit more. I have gotten the AC lines disconnected from the pump down here. Pretty much just trying to make sure everything down here is disconnected and everything down here is disconnected. I needed to undo my oil dipstick so I could get this harness over top of the oil dipstick to the other side of it. Just lots of stuff I needed to do. I took literally everything out of this side here. This is where the fuse panel and one of the batteries sits. This is all the plugs for the fuse panel here. So yeah, pretty extensive work into this thing. And now what I've started working on is I disconnected the exhaust from the turbo here. See, it's just sitting down there a little bit because I need to be able to get into that access plate right there and undo the bolts that hold together the torque converter and the flywheel, because then I need to do that, and then do the bolts that hold together the transmission bell housing and the motor, and then the motor and the transmission will be ready to split. So I'm having a little bit of trouble undoing these torque converter bolts. I've found a little trick that I'm going to try, which is putting a ratchet strap around the harmonic balancer pulley to the frame to hold it nice and tight while I try and undo those bolts. First, before I do that, I'm going to take off these 4 10mm bolts here to take off the fan, because I don't have the proper clutch fan wrench, so that'll be in a couple days. So I'm just going to take the plastic of the fan off so I have enough room to get down, put a strap under there comfortably, and hopefully we can start cracking these torque converter flywheel bolts loose, because that's one step closer. I'm pretty sure all I really have to do left is the transmission and the torque converter flywheel bolts, the motor mount bolts, and maybe a couple other wires and stuff like that in the far back of the motor. But I'm almost ready to pull this, so I need to go and borrow an engine hoist from a friend in town, and then gonna get this thing starting to get pulled in the next few days. Might even be on this video, I'm not sure yet. Okay guys, that clip was from almost a week ago, a few days ago already. And I tried what I said I was going to do with tying up the harmonic balancer with a strap. I tried that. I tried a lot of things off camera and I was just getting frustrated and I couldn't get it done. So I gave up for a little bit. I didn't give up all the way though. That's not an option, you don't give up. So anyways, I just had to gather my marbles and see what the heck I was gonna do. Find a tool that would help me out, because none of my impacts help me out. I tried the smaller Milwaukee impact because I could get in there straight. It didn't have the power. The bigger Milwaukee impact had too much power for the swivel end, and it just kept slipping off. Finally, I went and picked up this bad boy. off of Amazon. It was $280. It's a very narrow air impact ratchet, and that was able to save the day and get the bolt out. Now I have 5 more, I believe, to do. These are the torque converter flywheel bolts. You can see that that started to get kind of rounded out, and I was getting a little bit worried because if that had rounded out, that would have caused a huge problem. So anyways, we're back on track now. I'm not stuck on a freaking roadblock wall anymore. I figured it out. So let's continue going, and I'll show you everything that I've done off camera. I'm not sure exactly where we left off. I know in the beginning of this video I was kind of showing you some of the stuff that I had taken apart, but I wanted to show you some other things that I don't know if I like specified. The power steering line, I had to take off just the one power steering line because the other one goes to the steering box, which is not coming with the motor. So I just took off the one line that comes off the pump. The power cables for the starter are all coming with the motor out, and I'll swap them over to the new motor once the new motor gets here, once I get a new motor, because I literally have no money to get a new motor right now. But anyways, the biggest thing was, oh, and I did the fuel lines. And I'm not sure if I showed you the fuel lines. They're behind the fuel filter here. I disconnected those 2 fuel lines, the inlet and the outlet, so that should be good. But yeah, there might be a couple other things that I've missed, but that's the main thing now, is that the torque converter flywheel bolts have a way to come out. So also I wanted to show you this because I haven't showed you guys in this video. When I started disconnecting the exhaust, I should unplug this fan for a second. When I started disconnecting the exhaust to move the exhaust back, it started leaking oil. So I put a catch can under there, and I undid the bolts even more, and it poured oil out of the exhaust, like about 3 liters of oil. This is the mess that it left, and this is the amount of oil in there. Here, let's get this guy for reference. Okay, that much oil was sitting in the exhaust, specifically in this DPF filter, because I could tilt the DPF filter like this and it would not pour out of the other side, but it poured out of this side. So it was literally trapped in the exhaust. So from what I've researched now and what I've been told by people that know these motors a little bit more, is that my turbo probably went, and that's what caused this whole issue. It was the turbo went and it started leaking oil out, and as that happened, the oil was getting caught in the DPF filter, which created a very high back pressure because the exhaust it was harder for the exhaust to escape, created a higher back pressure, which created a higher exhaust gas temperature, which got the valves hot and the valve seats hot and everything hot in the motor, and just blew the motor. But it didn't get my coolant hot and my oil hot, so I wasn't able to see. It was just the exhaust gas temperatures and the valves and this, that, and the other that got hot and took the toll. So still, back to my main point, if I would have had this thing straight piped, that wouldn't have happened, because the oil would have escaped at least, and I would have been able to see it leaking and gone, hey, my turbo's bad, or whatever the case would be. So either way, the whole motor's blown and it needs to come out now, but I know for future reference, this thing is getting an aftermarket exhaust on it, and it is getting an EGT gauge, exhaust gas temperature gauge, so I can keep an eye on what the exhaust gas temperatures are. That's such a tongue twister for me, I don't know why. So anyways guys, in this video I'm going to keep breaking these torque converter flywheel bolts loose. I'm going to try and get to the bell housing bolts, and then I need to break the motor mount bolts loose, and I'll get those off, and then I need to go and borrow a hoist and try and pull this hoist out. But I'm going to try and get this whole thing completely ready to get pulled in this video, and then the part 3 is going to be the actual pulling of it and getting it out. So this video will be the torque converter flywheel bolts, the bell housing bolts, the motor mount bolts, any other things that I can actually see before I start pulling. Third video is going to be me actually pulling it. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm I'm gonna get to work here because I have a lot of stuff to do. I have a lot of work to get done, and these torque converter flywheel bolts ain't gonna undo themselves. Let's get to it. I'm gonna attempt to show you guys what the heck I gotta do down in that hole there before I just time lapse the rest of them or skip ahead till they're all out. I'm sorry for headphone users. If the air compressor goes off, I will edit out the sound or something. But this is what I need to get into. I don't know if I can simply. Oh, here, I have an idea. I have an idea. That's gonna be the best you guys get. Hello. So I need to spin this motor. I'm just using a pry bar on the flywheel until I find another bolt. Should be one soon. Okay, I feel the head. Put that right there. Should be good. Alright, let's see if I can go 2 for 2. Two for 2, baby! 2 for 2! Oh, geez, I was fucking stuck. Number 2. Oh, this is so exciting. This is so fucking good. Okay. And go 3 for 3. Like fucking nothing, dude. Oh, this fucking tool is amazing. Oh. Number 4. I believe there's 6. I could be wrong. Oh, that's number 4. That's number 5. Oh, let's bring you guys down here and give you my view a little bit. So this is what I'm working with. I need to get up in here into this hole to take the bolts out. And what I'm doing is using my grab on the flywheel teeth to turn it. And you see when I do that, and it brings me to the next bolt eventually. So yeah, last bolt, I think, and then on to bell housing bolts. This is getting exciting. Alright guys, so I'm not going to turn it again because I don't want to misalign this. I don't know if it really matters, to be honest. But the flywheel now turns separately from the torque converter. So what I'm going to do, there's not really a whole lot of light here for you, but I'm going to make a mark with my Sharpie. There's already marks here for where the bolts are too. I don't know if you can see that. But I'm going to make a little V mark and line it up with the mark on the torque converter just so I know exactly where it was to begin with. Like I said, I don't know if that really matters, but I just want to be as precise as possible. And then yeah, next are going to be bell housing bolts, but I'm probably going to do the hardest ones first, which will be the top ones. So yeah, stay tuned for that. There comes a day when you're gonna look around and realize happiness is where. Haha. You gotta pause the music. Yeah, I jam out to Disney music sometimes because, well, regular mainstream music and country and rap and hip hop and the country rap, everything just gets so boring. So, and the old school, yes, I listen to the old school country, the old school rock. It all gets boring. I just like that. Just fuck feel good. Anyways, guys, this is the next day. All I did yesterday was the torque converter flywheel bolts because I just felt accomplished after that. Today we are going to start battling the bell housing bolts, which I will climb under there and show you where they are right now. Where you are. Okay. I believe, I don't know how many there is actually, but there's 1, 2, 3. I think there's 2 way up top, and then same thing. So there's could be 8 bolts, I believe, holding the transmission on. I'll go look at a Google picture at a bell housing and make sure that is correct. But yeah, those are the bolts I'm going to be getting off today. They should be fairly easy. They're pretty easy to get to. Besides those top ones, I'll have to fight with a tiny bit. I don't even see them. There's somewhere up there. No clue. I'll find them though. But yeah, once that is disconnected, then I'm going to disconnect the drive shaft, so when I roll the truck, the transmission isn't trying to roll. And I might undo these transmission bracket bolts just a little bit so the transmission can slide back, because I don't know if I should be sliding the transmission back before trying to lift the motor or just keeping a jack under here for when I pull the motor forward so it doesn't drop down. I'll figure that out as I go. Whatever's kind of works is what I'll do. So yeah, I might end up undoing these bolts that hold the transmission bracket, and then they actually look like, I don't know if you'll be able to see this in the camera, but it looked like they can actually slide. So should be able to slide it back enough once the drive shaft is disconnected to be able to slide the transmission back enough to get it disconnected off the dowels and this, that, and the other. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I might just leave the transmission where it is and put a jack stand underneath here or a jack or whatever for when I'm actually doing the pull, just so I can jack the transmission up to and keep it the same height as the engine when it comes up, so that it's not an issue pulling it out and the transmission doesn't want to drop down. So that's what I'm going to work on today, getting these off, and then I might undo the motor mount bolts as well, because I do have the engine hoist now, but I need to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to end up putting the engine hoist in the back of the dually truck, the Ford van truck thing, whatever the heck you want to call it, because then I can actually move around in my yard a little bit, move these motors where I need to move them, unload the new motor when I get it in the shop, etc. So that's probably going to be what I do, but I'm not that far yet, so we'll see, I guess. Like I said, this video will be cut once I get this motor completely ready to pull from what I think, and then the third video is going to be starting the actual pull. So this video will be up somewhat soon, by the end of today. Hopefully I can go start editing and posting it up, and then you guys can catch up with all this that's been going on. Anyways guys, I'm going to get to work here, stop rambling. I'll try and set you up a time lapse here a little bit so you can check out what I'm doing, but it might be hard from this angle, so we'll see you in the next clip. All right, it's all the bolts off one side. See how this looks. Well, I'm not gonna be able to video this side, and I gotta cut this anyways. So I will, I'll just come back once I get these out. All right, guys, the transmission is split. Oh, let's see. I'll come show ya. Whoa. Right. Why is there water leaking out of that? Oh shit. There's this coolant leaking on my... Okay, that's not good. Okay, anyways. Let me show ya here. You can see that it's split there. And it is on the other side too, but here, wait, I'll probably just show you better through that wheel well. There you go. You can see the trans is split. As soon as I took that top bolt off, it came down like that, which is kind of sketchy, not gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know exactly why that happened. I'm guessing to put it back on, I'm gonna have to jack the back of the tranny up. So I just have it jacked up right now. And then next is gonna be, I guess, to start taking the, or undoing the motor mount bolt, which I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. There's a bolt way back in there. See if I'm good enough to edit this and circle it for you. And this one's easy enough to see. Right behind this hose there. Our steering hose. So, you getting that? I'm just trying to point it out exactly for people that are watching this to do this. That right there is your motor mount bolt. So, sorry I don't have my natural light. It's freaking really hot out and smoky today, so I have the garage doors closed. But yeah, so anyways, I am going to undo these motor mount bolts. And I don't got to take them all the way out either. I just need to loosen them because the motor mount, I guess, is like a V like that. So it just pulls right up and out. So this motor is going to be coming out in the next couple days, guys. This is really exciting. Really exciting. And even more exciting news is I think we have pulled together enough money from credit cards and borrowing that I'll be able to get my motor if it's still there. That reminds me, I need to call them right now. So yeah, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get these motor mount bolts undone. Alrighty guys, the transmission is split from the motor. I got all the bell housing bolts off, and when I took the last one off, it literally split like about an inch or so. So I ended up putting my jack under there just so it's kind of holding. I ended up also taking out off camera, which I know I should have recorded this, but whatever. The engine mount nuts on both sides, and I needed to take the oil filter off on this side to be able to get my impact in there. And then I just tapped the bolts back lightly so they weren't grabbing on the other side. And now I'm pretty sure this motor is ready to come out, which is crazy. Like, I can't believe I've gotten this far on it so quickly. Like, I know it's been quite a while since I've been working on it, a couple weeks, but I haven't worked on it hard every single day because I haven't had the money for a motor, and I was waiting on tools and stuff like that. Now I have the tools, I got everything apart, we possibly have the money together to get the motor, which I'm so excited for. We're possibly calling tomorrow or the next day to make payment on it, and then it'll start getting shipped. And then I have a couple days to get the motor the rest of the way out, which it should hopefully, let's cross the fingers there, hopefully be coming out tomorrow. I don't know how that light looks behind you guys there. I think it's glaring a little bit, but hopefully should be coming out tomorrow. I think it's all ready to come out tomorrow. I'm going to be putting the engine hoist in the back of the dually truck, so I have a movable crane. And if that works out, I'll try something else, but that's my plan for now. And then, yeah, hopefully I'll start lifting it and pull it back a little bit, and then just see what's happening with it, see what's going on with it, see if there's anything else grabbing. I've gone over it 24 times. I've gone over it to make sure nothing else is connected, and I'm pretty sure nothing else is connected. I could still be wrong. There could be a couple more things still, but yeah, you guys, it's so close. I'm so excited. This motor is going to be out right away, and then the challenge also begins of putting the new motor back in and hooking everything back up. Well, actually, before that, I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to need to switch over from this motor to my new motor. The whole harness, probably the starter, yeah, because the new motor doesn't come with a starter. This transmission, ECM, whatever the heck's on the side here. All these pulleys in the front I'm going to need to, because the motor that I'm getting is cheaper because it was a front end collision. So the clutch fan got destroyed, the harmonic balancer got bent. Nothing else in there is bent. They tested the crank and everything, and it runs smooth and good. So I need to take off some of the parts off my front here. I think they also said the timing cover was cracked, so I'll have to take my timing cover off. I'm hoping that's it, and I'm hoping that's all that's wrong with this motor. But anyways, either way, I'll make one good motor out of these two motors, and it'll be on the road hopefully within a couple weeks, but very hopefully, realistically, let's say within a month, just because I'm doing this all by myself with minimum tools, minimum experience. And yeah, I don't know. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna end this video now, because I told you I was getting it ready to be pulled, and then the next video is going to be starting to pull it. And then if there's other stuff that needs to be done while I'm pulling it, so be it, that'll be in that video. But as of right now, I think this motor is ready to come out of this truck. And I'm sorry for people that have watched this and they're trying to learn things off this. I've tried to explain as much as I can. I'll go over one more time if you want. I had to take off this whole front end. There's bolts. It's just, I'm not a teacher, you guys. I'm not even gonna try, honestly. I'm not a teacher. Like, if you're a visual learner, just watch the video and you'll see what I did. You'll see what I took off. Just look at the bolts and just take everything apart. It's pretty much what you gotta do. Literally just take everything apart. It's freaking crazy. Like, if you don't think you gotta take it apart, you probably gotta take it apart. So anyways, guys, yeah, gonna end this video here. Next video is gonna be me starting to pull this thing, and that will be starting to be recorded tomorrow. I don't know when it's gonna be posted, but this video should be posted tonight or tomorrow morning, one of the two. So hopefully you guys actually watched and followed along, and if you stayed to the end here and you see me saying this, please leave a comment so I know that you stayed this long. Please like the video because it helps a lot, and obviously subscribe if you haven't already, and go watch my other videos. I have a bunch of other videos when I was doing the van life and car life and traveling throughout Canada. lots of different things that I've done in my videos and stuff. So yeah, go check out my other videos. It would really help with my channel a lot. I'm trying to get my watch hours up so I'm able to get into monetization, because then I can start making a bit of money off YouTube, which would really help a lot right now, because the funds are really going down. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next video, me starting to pull this thing out. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited, I'm excited, I'm excited.